I just moved to coastal Florida, and if there's one thing that I need to do while I'm here, it's learn about the local nature, particularly the ocean. Yes, the ocean, I'm not sure if you've heard of it, but it covers 70% of our planet. Now, I know absolutely nothing about the ocean, nor the creatures that live there. But there is one thing I do know, and that is the ocean is important. I just don't know why yet. But that's why we're here today. It is time to explore and research, so let's head to the Mississippi Aquarium. The aquarium is a huge advocate for ocean and marine life conservation, and my mission today is to learn as much as I can about the world under the sea. So first stop is the dolphins. I'm just kidding, that's the best part, so we're gonna save that for the end. First stop is the beavers. These adorable little guys that were, well, busy as a beaver, hard at work building their dams. Now, you might be thinking, Dina, beavers are neither a fish nor part of the ocean, and you would be right, but only partially. Because here I learned that beavers are not just freshwater animals. In fact, some beavers live in coastal saltwater ecosystems as well. The other thing that was, quite honestly, ridiculous to learn is that their butts smell like vanilla. I'm not kidding. Beavers have something called castor sacs at the base of their tail that releases a compound called castoreum. I don't know. The pronunciation is the hardest part of this channel. When marking their territory, beavers release this castoreum. When marking their territory, beavers release this castoreum, and apparently it has a pleasant vanilla smell. So pleasant, in fact, that humans have used it in perfumes. Which was just kind of gross, but also interesting. Let's move on to the world under the water, in the ocean. We're talking stingrays, sea turtles, white sharks, regular sharks, and much, much more. So much more, in fact, that the ocean houses the majority of life on Earth. This place is vast, so vast that we have actually only mapped about 20% of it, which is much less than the amount we've mapped on the planet Mars. This means that we know the surface of Mars better than our very own ocean. It's crazy to think about how much we don't know is still living in the ocean, because there is a massive amount of biodiversity within the ocean that we've already identified. At the aquarium, there were so many fish that I'd never seen before. Colorful and unique creatures, each with their own stories and their own set of characteristics. I chatted with one of the guides about the fish, especially the stingrays, and she said how remarkable it was that each animal has its own distinct personality. She said that once you spend enough time with these animals, you start to see the differences in their demeanor and their behavior, not only between species, but also between individuals. And here is one individual that is incredibly unique. The green moray eel, a creature with a face only a mother could love. Although quite honestly, I thought he was kind of cute. You know, when something's so ugly that it's cute, that was the green moray eel for me. These little guys can grow up to 8 feet long and weigh as much as 65 pounds, which when you think about an eel, that's rather large. That's like the size of my dog. You can find them in crevices between rocks, peeking out and waiting for prey to swim by. Now, a very interesting thing about these eels is that they have an incredibly unique ability that actually sets them apart from most everything else in the ocean, and that is they can throw it in reverse. I don't know what that was, but here we are. Green moray eels are able to swim both forwards and backwards, a skill that is remarkably rare in the ocean. Most fish can only swim forwards. And to be honest, I would much rather encounter this guy from the behind than the front, because he has a nasty set of razor-sharp teeth. Now, all that being said, and as scary as they might sound, these eels are actually pretty chill and will really only attack if they are very much provoked. We saw the eel for a brief moment when he decided to pop out of a tunnel that he was hiding in. Hi. Along our journey, we also met a green sea turtle named Banner. Banner was rescued from the ocean in 2016 after being hit by a boat. Today, her injuries have left her unable to survive in the ocean, so she has a second chance at the aquarium with all her new fish friends. You can find Banner swimming in some unique positions, with her head pointed down and her hind end pointed straight up, right at the surface of the water. The reason for this is because the impact from the boat caused some air to be trapped in the lower half of her body, making that area rather buoyant. Having a lower half that's buoyant makes it difficult for Banner to dive deep and stay submerged in water. It'd be like trying to dive down with a life jacket on. Green sea turtles like Banner are endangered species, mostly because us humans are hunting them, destroying their habitats, and collecting their eggs, which is not ideal, guys. Banner's story is an impactful one, and perhaps it can motivate us to take better care of these beautiful creatures. In fact, sea turtles are actually pretty darn important for our ecosystem. They feed on seagrass and algae, acting as a sort of lawnmower caretaker. When turtles feed on seagrass, the seagrass becomes more productive and also more hospitable to certain types of fish. In essence, they help keep the seagrass habitats viable and healthy. And it would just so happen that many of these fish that are thriving off the seagrass habitats are also very important for us humans as well, because they are a major source of food. So turtles are critical not only for our oceans, but for us too. The chain reactions of ecosystems are fascinating, aren't they? This brings me to one reason why I learned the ocean is so important today, and that is food. The ecosystems in the ocean are critical for helping to feed us. There are the more obvious examples of food, like the seafood we eat, shrimp, fish, and more, but there's also things that you might not think about that come from the ocean. We harvest important ingredients from the ocean that go into so many common foods, like peanut butter and soy milk, which, as someone who's lactose intolerant, I really appreciate the contribution to soy milk. But wait, if you thought that was amazing, there is still more, because the providing powers of the ocean goes beyond even just food. The ocean also provides many essential ingredients for medicines as well. These are medicines that help fight major diseases like cancer, Alzheimer's, arthritis, and heart disease. As I promised, let's head over to the dolphins now. And let me just tell you, dolphins are pretty sick. The aquarium has a really cool exhibit where you can get right up close to them, and I thoroughly enjoyed that. But I also enjoyed something even more, and that was learning about their insane biology. For starters, dolphins literally sleep with one eye open. Dolphins are capable of something called unihemispheric sleep, essentially meaning they sleep only one half of their brain at once. When they do this, half their brain goes to sleep and the eye opposite of that brain closes. This allows dolphins to rest while still keeping an eye out, pun intended, for obstacles and predators that are lurking in the sea. It also allows them to know when they need to surface to get more air. And fun fact, whales can also do this. Dolphins also have one of the most extensive and complex forms of communication in the animal kingdom. Sound travels 4 to 5 times faster in water than air, so dolphins mainly used sound to communicate with each other. Much like you and I have our own unique voices that are recognizable, dolphins do too. They learn to identify each other from their voices. Every dolphin develops his or her own distinct whistle that identifies them to other dolphins. This is basically like one dolphin whistles and everybody else around them can go, "Oh yeah, that's Dave talking." Dolphins also have a social network, like you and I do. They've got their close associates, aka their homies, that they spend the majority of their time with. They also have their more casual relationships, where they see each other from time to time, perhaps to catch a bite to eat together. Literally, because they hunt in groups. Now, if you look at this video of me observing the dolphins, you might notice that I am sweating profusely because it is humid and hot in Mississippi. But conveniently, this brings me to another reason why the ocean is so important to us, and that is climate regulation. As I said in the very beginning of this video, the ocean covers the vast majority of Earth. And fun fact about water, it is exceptionally good at regulating temperature. This means that the ocean absorbs tons of heat from the equator and then transfers that heat to our north and south poles. Now back to dolphins. I think perhaps my favorite thing to learn about them today was that they also love to play. I also chatted with another one of the volunteers who worked with the dolphins, and she swore up and down that these animals have a sense of humor and an awareness of people. She said that the dolphins get so much joy from splashing her around crowds of people because it makes them all laugh. And in fact, sometimes when a crowd is particularly enjoying the show, the dolphins will do it over and over again because they love the attention and the response that they're getting. She also said that the dolphins appear to interact with children differently than they do with adults. The dolphins seem to take more interest and interact with the kids, often stopping to say hello and to study them, and there's actually a couple viral videos of this happening. While we may never know what is truly going through a dolphin's mind, all this does make me think about how different the creatures of the ocean are to us. We certainly do not speak their language, and a life in the ocean seems impossibly alien to us. We interact with and see our world so differently than they do, and because of this, maybe it's easy to dismiss them as other or as not having as much value as us. But if there's one thing I learned today, it's that there is an entire universe in the ocean, a complex, unique, and fascinating world full of stories that we have only scratched the surface of. Quick story time. Recently, I was snorkeling on the beach looking for cool shells. As one does when they go to the beach and have a snorkel. And while I was underwater, I saw 2 white fish, a bit smaller than the palm of my hand, so clean and white and beautiful. Their scales caught the sunlight filtering through the clear water and appeared to shimmer and glow. They got very close to me before they saw me, and I couldn't help but think about our 2 vastly different lives. There we were, interacting in the lightest, gentlest way. 2 organisms that couldn't be any more different. Maybe they also had some profound thoughts about me, or maybe they thought to themselves, holy moly, that's a massive fish, or maybe they didn't notice me at all. But in any case, this small but significant interaction reminded me that we are all connected, and even though we as humans may feel that we are so different and distinct from the rest of the world, we're not. And in fact, we rely on it all to keep us afloat. Seeing all of the life at the aquarium helped me see the value in our beautiful oceans. And who knows, maybe it'll do the same for you. That is all I have for you today. If you liked this video, please go ahead and leave a like down below. I would really appreciate it. And if you really enjoyed it and you want to learn more about nature and science, definitely hit that subscribe button so that I can see you in the next one.